Hi, I'm Julia. Welcome to Julia Lives. Today I'm going to give you a full tour of the Barcelona Hilton. There are two Hilton hotels in Barcelona. This one is located in the business district. Some would say that the street that it's on, Avinguda Diagonal, looks a bit like the US. I ended up choosing this hotel honestly because we were looking for tennis courts. I could not find a hotel that had access to a tennis court, and so TripMasters, the company that I booked this trip through, recommended this. We actually did not end up playing tennis though, so I probably in hindsight would have chosen somewhere that was closer to the main streets in Barcelona. We spent about 80 euros per day on taxi cabs trying to get around because again, this is located somewhat far away from a lot of the things that we wanted to see. The staff here was excellent. There are two large shopping centers within walking distance. And not to be confused, there is no tennis court or access to a court here. But again, I picked this just because it was recommended when the hotel I originally booked was not taking reservations, and that one did have access to a court, but due to various things, I guess they were not available for business during our stay. Breakfast was included in our stay, but there are many restaurants within walking distance. There's even a McDonald's next door if you want to go that route. I always appreciate it when you hit that like button. It does something to the YouTube algorithm so that more people will see this video. And thanks to everyone who subscribed to Julia Lives. This particular room is a suite. However, the hotel does feature typical rooms, and a basic room would be like the bedroom area that you'll see next. So instead of walking into this living area, in a standard room, you're going to walk right into the bedroom like any other hotel room. This was great though. We were greeted with complimentary water and chocolate. There's a courtyard view here. Again, this is in the middle of a city center, so there aren't beach views or something like that available. That's about as good as it's going to get. While we enjoyed the Hilton Barcelona, if I could have done it over, I would have stayed in an area of Barcelona known as Eixample, where it's basically like the main street of Barcelona. Again, we got this hotel recommendation based on my search for tennis courts. There was no access to a tennis court here. However, upon check-in, I asked about tennis courts, and the woman who was working at the desk immediately looked up a local tennis court, gave us times that we could book a court, offered to call. She was great. And so we looked at it and realized with a taxi, it would have been about a 40-minute taxi ride because the traffic in Barcelona is fairly heavy. So it wasn't necessarily that far away, but again, because of the traffic, and then of course the cost of a cab too would have been an increased expense just due to the duration of time. So we skipped the tennis, but again, if I could go back, I would have probably stayed in a different area or even in Barceloneta by the beach. That would be nice as well. I think it depends on what you're going there for. If it's a business situation or if you are with a family and you want a bigger room, this would also be a good choice. But it's going to be a bit of a drive to get anywhere that you'd want to see for sightseeing. The area around the Barcelona Hilton has a lot of shops, like I said, and this taxi stand. There was always a taxi. We had a driver who was supposed to pick us up to bring us to the airport at about 3:30 a.m. who did not show up. I called Tripmasters and they spent about 15 minutes on the phone, and then I finally said, look, we need to get to the airport. Grabbed a taxi, which was great. So that was no problem. This is one of the shopping centers. This is not the high-end shopping center. It's more the sort of middle-of-the-road shops. But again, it was great. 3 levels. The bottom is full of food. I mean, it's not food courts. There are sit-down restaurants, a wide variety of food available here, and of course, gelato for those of you that have a little sweet tooth. But this is a great place to come and walk around and buy a few things if you want to do that. There is another shopping center in the opposite direction of the Hilton, which would have more of your Louis Vuitton and Prada and those higher end shops.